Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we talk crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, 1200% rise or 8000% rise, which happened previously in the last cycle. Do you actually want to know what happened before that? Stay tuned. I will take you guys through different charts of different time frames, because while doing my research for today's video, that's the scientific research, I came across books, journals and articles which actually define some kind of patterns, price fluctuations, and I was able to understand that there are some patterns which are being repeated in XRP. And as usual, at the end, we will go through news, updates, and whatever we want to know about the market. This particular book has helped me a lot in learning, different types of patterns, trends, how to analyze the chart and all. Precisely, the important reversal patterns which you can see is the head and shoulder pattern. That's a textbook reversal pattern. And this book teaches you how to go through the breaking the neckline, the rounding tops and bottom. We usually discuss all of those in this channel. Now, I don't have any affiliate marketing, blah, blah, blah stuff with that. Just want to inform you guys, that's what I use to gain this knowledge. Now, this is a 1 hour chart of XRP, and in this 1 hour chart, there are some patterns to recognize, an inverse head and shoulder pattern here and here. So here, the inverse head and shoulder pattern is causing the price to drop. So is that it? Are we going down? No, not exactly, because there are other factors as well in this. Because if you actually look at others, now this is an image which I prepared previously, so I can explain this easily for you guys, because I'm a bit slow in using charts. My processor is slow in rendering the information. Okay, anyway, now we can see the inverse head and shoulder does align with the trend line support and resistance area. Now notice that I use the word support resistance area because there will be a standard deviations, these small wicks fluctuations. Humans playing with money and psychology thing, they are not stable. So mostly, this happens because it's humans and algorithms designed by humans which are doing this. And mostly, the algorithms from the bots, they just kick out the stop losses using these standard deviations. Now in the first inverse head and shoulder down here, we can see that we had a support resistance zone. The pattern itself played out near by the small support resistance area, and it dipped and wicked into the bigger support resistance area. And then it started moving up. If you guys recognize value from this video, please do like, subscribe, and press the bell notification icon. Now in the pattern here, we have trend line support starting way back from December, which is still playing out. And it was, the neckline of head and shoulder this time. Again, look at the trend line, support and resistance zone. It was resistance first here, then turned as a support here, then again a resistance, again a support, and here we are getting support at that area. So, in the short term, it may help the price, it may help to push the price a bit up. Now, before jumping out of the 1 hour chart, we can look back at the history, what happened previously during this time, say during the previous bull run, just before it was starting. What was the patterns like? Like during the early time window of last uptrend, we had this inverse head and shoulder there, and again pattern within pattern. So it tends to rhyme itself in most of the cycle for XRP. This asset is actually kind of having its own relationship with head and shoulder pattern. So it is rhyming itself. And if you look at the bottom here, you can actually see Adam and an Eve pattern. This is also kind of a textbook reversal pattern. So similar to that of our recent bottoming, which we saw in the first one, like say this image, we had that here. When we were actually bottoming out, we got that. So in the short time fluctuations, we are getting a similar setup, a similar pattern. So that is kind of creating a strong movement. This is just opposite. Now this is, a 4-hour chart, and you can see that instead of an inverse head and shoulder, we are getting head and shoulder pattern here. So, this is a bit long term. So now when we are looking at this, we can actually see the long term support resistance area playing out. And that is acting as the neckline for this particular head and shoulder pattern. So guys, when you jump into a shorter time frame charts, the noise is so much, and that makes it hard to analyze, at least for me. But as you zoom out, you start getting a clearer picture. So in this one, you are getting a head and shoulder, which is showing you like, now, yes, it's not confirmed yet, but, looking at the rounded bottom or the head and shoulders pattern, I believe that, it's going to happen. It's going to move towards that. So we zoom out into a daily chart, which gives us much more information from last, say, 6 years. It's starting from 2014 or just before that. And, when we are looking at this, this is what we see. There are patterns, right? There are trends. The market cycle, when it is moving, it is showing you something. In the market cycles, we can observe similar price fluctuations, bottoming pattern, the small pump, and wait for the skyrocketing effect, which will then take out, the impatient traders. So if we actually really want to analyze this, we can actually jump in and zoom into market cycles. Say this is of 2015, 2017. We can see price was making patterns which respected the trend line support. So that's a trend line support, and we are getting pattern. Now, yes, here we are not playing a game to find head and shoulders, but there is something with this asset and this pattern. This head and shoulder is supported by a long-term trendline support and resisted by another long-term price support. This was long-term price support, and here it was being resisted. Okay, now from this 2015, 2017, let's just, jump fast forward to where we are in this cycle. We have a similar pattern. You just saw that in the longer time frame. And you can see we just broke below the long-term support of this pattern. Now tried once to get back into the zone and twice again. Then we just fall down, like the price just went down. Like if you actually compare that with the previous one, you can actually see that we tried it once, twice, and then we went back, capitulated, bottomed, and again retested that area coming up here. We again came back, kind of retested that area, and then we moved back. So if we are looking that here, we can see that we tried that support resistance area, then we capitulated, and hopefully I believe it's bottomed, and then it's moving up and retesting that area. At present, we are somewhere near that, getting back into there or getting that push or skyrocketing effect of 1000% or so. But the patterns, are similar. Still, the fluctuations look a bit different. So that is something to study about the market cycle. When we say that, it's different this time, it's actually not that different. Just you have to position yourself to get into that, understand that. Because if you don't do that, you lose a lot of information. Because see, in the first one here, we actually talked about this long-term support line acting as a neckline for this head and shoulder pattern, inverse head and shoulder pattern here, before it capitulated and bottomed. Now, if you actually zoom really out and try to point this out, this is what you actually get. Now you can actually understand where we are right now, right? Because this is resistance here, this turned support here, was acting support here, now here was a resistance again. Hopefully this is a support here, and this support kind of aligns with the rounded bottom or the head and shoulders, whichever pattern you want to decide. But finally what you get here is we came below this trend line, but we were being supported by this trend line, and at present we are again supported by this trend line. So I would actually like you guys can make the final call on where you guys stand. Now, I tried my best to give you information that's based on science. You guys let me know your thoughts on this so that we can discuss and take this conversation forward. Now, if you guys agree that's some work behind this video, and if you received value, please support the channel, hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification. And when I'm spending this much time in front of the charts, analyzing it, my wife used to ask, why do you spend a lot of time looking at the chart? Now, you guys know how I analyze the chart with the scientific data and the background, and that's why it takes a lot of time. This is a tweet from the crypto Erie, and she's actually showing that I think this is a drunk tweet, and I completely kind of agree with this because they're actually stating that Brad Garlinghouse said that stressing compliance is key to getting bankers on board, and they don't actually think bankers should be getting into crypto. They don't think crypto needs banking sector. Now, I don't know why these guys are kind of against the banks, governments, but I don't think the change or the evolution is going to happen out from the outside of the system. Instead, it will start inside, and that's what is the vision of the company Ripple. And this is from Bullrun Walker. He's showing Ripple plans to build crypto between XRP and Ethereum, and if you actually show that XRP has liquidity and speed, Bitcoin has halving. Only one has interoperability. Now, if you actually look at all the platforms, you need that interledger protocol. So HODL XRP, HODL strong. Now, this is from Michael, and he's actually showing you, now this is not directly related to XRP, but the traditional markets. Most of them from the traditional trading stock markets, they come out and say criminal do use crypto, or crypto is for criminal activity. And now you can see that 3 billion is fined for their fraudulent activity, so they can do that. So that's happening even in the traditional market. Now, this again, next one from Michael, and is showing you compliments of Josh, because the White House itself is actually looking at the China's Bitcoin dominance, and it's kind of worrying them. So think, who has actually pointed this out, that the Chinese has dominance in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is being traded all over the world. In our yesterday's video, we actually talked about this, right? And even in the last 2 videos, we actually talked about the misinformation surrounding XRP. And when the team from Ripple tries to clear that up, guys like Novogratz come up like, no. He's not fair. I think I wasn't Novogratz. Novogratz was trying to push XRP down, and Brad came out pushing that again down. But I think it was Matey Greenspan who was talking like, no, you're spreading misinformation. If you guys actually go through my last 2 videos, you will get the complete information why they are hesitated about this. Now, this is the next one from the Crypto Bull, and it's showing you a GIF from the billionaire thoughts, and you can see that if you hold strong, you will get what you want. That's patience. You need that in any kind of market. If you are an investor, stay strong. If you jump from one coin to another, just looking for profit, this will be what will be happening to you. Guys, that's all for today's video. And again, I would like to kindly request you guys, if you guys like the content I provide, please do help the channel grow. Click that like, subscribe, and bell notification icon. I'll meet you guys on the next one. Bye for now.